Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Mike's DVDs and Blu-rays collection. I have to take the Post-it note off the chair. Hey guys, we're going to say this is a directed by episode. Every once in a while I like to dive into a director's work and pick up some of their great movies and pick them up to add to my collection, but at the same time kind of showing off some of the good stuff that director has done over his career. It's not a complete filmography, but just a few films to recommend to you guys from a director. And this episode, we're going to focus on Paul Verhoeven, the famous Dutch director who kind of started in America around 1985. And I think he did, what was it? I can't even think of the name of it. I think it was like a dragon fighting medieval movie or something. I don't know. Maybe I can edit that part out. But anyways, I just want to show off some stuff from him. He got to be a really, really big name actor or director when he did RoboCop. RoboCop really busted the door down for Paul Verhoeven as a serious director in Hollywood back then. So it's really cool. So I'm going to show off. We'll start with those RoboCop series. I wanted to show this one. This is my older edition of this on DVD. This is the Criterion Collection edition of RoboCop on DVD. Now I think this has been released on Blu-ray by Criterion. Maybe not. Maybe this is the only time. I'm trying to think if it was on Laserdisc. I always get this cover mixed up with the cover for the movie Seven, which Criterion had a Laserdisc for Seven. But anyways, this was the one I had for a long time, and this came out in the early 2000s, this edition. So it doesn't have a lot of extras on it, but it's got a good little bit of stuff for that time period. It would be re-released a bunch of times by MGM and stuff, and they would add little things to it and stuff. But this is the one I've had for a while, and then I upgraded in the past year to the Arrow Blu-ray, the standard Blu-ray. Arrow put out a 4K of it in the past couple years or so, but I went ahead and got this one. When the 4K came out, it made the Blu-ray kind of drop in price, so I picked that up anyways. But yeah, it's got a lot of extras compared to the other one. I don't know, maybe I'll put a little picture there to show you, but yeah, quite a bit of extras on there. But yeah, really good movie. I rewatched it, of course, for the 1 billionth time I've seen it, and man, it looks really good. It's sharp. It's got that Arrow touch that only Arrow can do. I mean, Arrow's not perfect, guys, but damn, they're damn near perfect sometimes. But man, they put a lot of good stuff on this. This is kind of similar to the what was the recent release? They put out some recent stuff that's been really good. What stands up to this? I'm trying to think, what did Arrow do? I'm not having the memories right now. I can't think of what it called, but this is a really good release. The RoboCop on Blu-ray. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, you got the 4K to choose from Arrow, or you got the Blu-ray. So I recommend that release, either or. Next up, this is a 4K Blu-ray digital combo pack. This is from Lionsgate, Studio Canal. This is a 1990s Total Recall. Now this thing when they released this got really dumped on. It wasn't a great transfer according to a lot of people, but when I put it on and watched it, I thought it looked pretty decent. I mean, I don't know if I'm supposed to say, well, no, it looks like crap, but it looked really good. Maybe it's the settings that I have my TV set on or something. Maybe it looks a little better. I mean, maybe there's other parts to it that they're talking about and not just as a whole. But I thought it looked pretty good. It wasn't too, I mean, it wasn't excellent as 4K goes, but it looked good. And this was a release that I got from Amazon. It was like one of those sale days where you limited time. I think I got it for like $5.99 plus, Prime free shipping. So I thought, man, I'll pick that up. It's got a pretty nice slipcase. I kind of like that. That slipcase is really nice. But this is the 30th anniversary of Total Recall 4K. But yeah, well worth the money. I mean, it's not that. I don't think it is as bad as they say it is. Or a lot of critics, armchair critics, and whatnot. Next up, this is one of his more notorious movies that came out, and it's probably known as just an incredible cheeseball of a movie from the 90s that kind of represents the 90s in a really cheesy way and stuff. And this is one of those movies where it's so bad it's good, or just it's one of those movies for fun. It's a fun movie. Showgirls. I have to admit, I just picked this up. I hadn't owned it before, but I had seen it millions of times, it seems like. But yeah, this is known as it's supposed to have all the controversial stuff in there and everything like that. But this is a general MGM release. It's got a few kind of equally cheesy supplements like pole dancing, everything you need to know. I mean, yeah. But yeah, it's very sleek, very colorful, very, very stylistically over the top and stuff, where the director's just being a director. I mean, he could do anything at this time after directing the previous movie. But yeah, anyways, there's Showgirls. And of course, the movie of all movies that really even put him further on the map. This was a big hit when it came out. It was very, very controversial. It came out in 1992. I was probably 15, 16, something like that. But it was a very controversial movie when this came out. Basic Instinct. And unfortunately, when I got this edition wouldn't play in my player for some reason. And I had another problem with that with a Denzel Washington movie where it wouldn't play. Now, this is an older Lionsgate Blu-ray, and it wouldn't play good in my bedroom player. So I'm going to try it again on a different player. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, I remember enough about this movie that, it's basically, it's a noir. It's a new noir. There was a whole slew of good neo-noirs that came out in the 90s and stuff, especially towards the end of the 90s. But this was one of the ones that kind of spearheaded the 90s neo-noir for sure. Basic Instinct. So, I mean, overall, it's a good movie. I mean, if you look at it in the neo-noirish stuff, where it's kind of coming from, it got dumped on too. I mean, that's one thing about Paul Verhoeven is a lot of his movies get dumped on by the critics and stuff, but are usually big hits by fans. So yeah, there you go. Basic Instinct. So I'm going to try to upgrade and find a better edition of it. Maybe the 4K will work better, and I'll put that in my to sell pile or something. But definitely one of those movies, definitely one of the best widely known movies of the 90s, because it was just so infamous when it came out with the scene of her uncrossing her legs and anyways. But here's a movie that I didn't really realize that Paul Verhoeven directed this, but I'd seen it many times. This came out probably, when is this, 98, 99, somewhere in there. Hollow Man. Starring Elizabeth Shue and Kevin Bacon, which is really cool. There are some scientists experimenting with invisibility and all that stuff. It's kind of a retelling of the Invisible Man tale. Basically, the scientist, kind of loses his mind to the new, serum that they make to do that and everything, to make them go invisible. So it's basically a telling of that with a lot of really, for the time, excellent special effects. I mean, these were pre-CGI everything. This was just probably the best that they could do at that time. And there's some really good, passable special effects in there that I think still stand up and everything. Especially the part where they put the stuff into the gorilla, and the gorilla comes back into shape again where he was invisible, so it kind of shows all his veins and all the different stuff. It's really pretty interesting little effects like that. But yeah, Hollow Man's good, exciting thriller slash horror type of movie. But yeah, Hollow Man, really pretty interesting, and it gets forgotten a lot by Paul Verhoeven when people think of him or they talk about him. Next up, a movie that it's close to the weirdness and awkward kind of silliness of Showgirls, but on an action tip. This is more action packed and everything, and it also got dumped on in many straight to video sequels and stuff. But this is the first one, Starship Troopers, and I watched this recently, and it's a lot of fun. It's kind of got that swagger to it. Kind of reminds you of like a swashbuckler movie or something from the 50s or 30s or 40s type of movie, action movie with, you know, a little bit of everything else in between. But it's a movie that kind of doesn't take itself serious completely, especially with some of the little stuff he puts in there, little advertisements and things. I mean, they weren't taking this completely serious, but it's kind of it's campy, I guess you could say, in many ways, but it's still a lot of fun. It's one of those big bombastic movies that you can put on, got your surround sound cooking, and you just get some boom, boom, you know, you just get some loud craziness going on for a while. But yeah, Starship Troopers, a lot of fun. I hadn't seen it for a while, but yeah, it's pretty cool. But yeah, it's still cool, still hanging in there. And finally, guys, this is a one that I recommend out of all of them, especially if you haven't seen this at all, to see this one. This is in his native language, Dutch, and this came out in, man, I cannot see the dates on these, but I want to say this came out in 2008. It came out in 08, 09, somewhere in there. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me know. It's called Black Book. And it's a really, really excellent movie. Really cool. Let me read you a little bit about it. It's in the darkest days of World War II. Jewish fugitives attempt to escape occupied Holland, only to face Nazi ambush. Rachel Stein, played by Carice van Houten, alone survives the attack and joins the Dutch resistance to avenge her family. She soon confronts the ultimate test. She must infiltrate the German headquarters by attempting Captain Ludwig, played by Sebastian Koch. In the heat of passion, he uncovers her duplicity, but keeps her secret. And then Rachel's espionage reveals that a murderous traitor lurks within the resistance ranks. Unable to fully trust anyone, Rachel navigates a minefield of deception and becomes an enemy to both sides. It's epic, passionate, breathtaking. Black Book relates an untold story of World War II where the distinctions between good and evil become blurred by the complexities of human nature. And really, really excellent movie. I mean, it's a powerhouse performance by Carice van Houten. I think that's her name. Powerhouse performance by her. And I'm not sure if it had any Oscar nominations or anything in it, but man, she was really good. I didn't really go back and research the movie completely, but really good movie. You almost wouldn't think that this would be made by Paul Verhoeven of all people. I mean, maybe that's my bad to think that, but man, it's a really good movie. It goes right along with his career of a lot of interesting, good movies. He's getting way up there in age. I believe he's in his 90s now, late 80s, early 90s. So we may not see a bunch more movies from Paul Verhoeven, but man, I hope he's remembered for movies like this, along with, of course, RoboCop and his early Dutch movies that he made and everything. But really good, guys. You need to really check this out. I think Donnie over at the Cinemaniac 77, that's his channel. I think he recommended this, or he was going through his shelves showing what's on it, what parts of his collection. I think I caught that video. I don't know if it's a new one or if it's an older one, but it piqued my interest as soon as he mentioned it and said it was by Paul Verhoeven. I was like, So really, this whole video is kind of dedicated around me discovering this movie, because I kind of wanted to put some other stuff with it to make a full episode. So there you go. There's my Paul Verhoeven episode. But yeah, you should definitely pick that up, watch it. I mean, if it's streaming, stream it. It is in Dutch. It does have subtitles and everything, but really interesting, guys. So anyways, that's it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And comment, let me know some of the stuff that I can't think of. So let me know, guys. Comment, and thank you for spending a little bit of time with me. And until next time, guys, take it easy. Watch a good movie. I'm Mike. Bye-bye.